Alright, finally back at GojiCenter. This is something I meant to do a while ago. As you can see, it came out 2 weeks ago. But, you know, stuff got in the way and I've just been lazy and, you know, just haven't been getting to it. But now I'm finally getting to it. So this is more Spinos. Things don't look good for the D-Rex. So I'm assuming that something's going to happen, like a showdown where the D-Rex is going to have to fight for its life. Spino's going to give him a run for his money. Like, I don't know, it's GojiCenter. Anything can happen. But you go check out GojiCenter, give some support, and let's just get straight to it. I've been waiting. I've been sitting on it for too long. Let's just get straight to it. Alrighty.
Well. What do we have here? If you're one of those that still
a bunch of Spinos, the Mosasaurus,
and one kaiju-sized Mosa wasn't enough, one of the latest Jurassic World Rebirth trailers
I said the
comes to
kaiju.
surprise us with a brand
Oh,
new
that shot is insane.
franchise.
Hold on.
Another Spinosaurus.
Wait.
Trailers.
Oh my word, that shot is crazy, and it's massive. The eyes like the size of this person. Yeah, that's Carl Johansson.
Comes to surprise us with a brand new entry.
That
to
Mosa
this
is
franchise.
insanely big.
Another Spinosaurus.
So sick.
On this episode of GojiCenter, we take the plunge once again into the depths of this hellish island to look into some of the new
I'm ready to take a
information
plunge.
and speculation involving some of the greatest comebacks in dinosaur history.
Scoop it up
This
real
is Jurassic
good.
World Rebirth.
Gee, that guy did his shit.
Spino pack explored. We will get to explaining what this sailback and kaiju Mosa dynamic will likely bring to the film. Before that, however, we'll give you a bit of a recap on the sailback's role in Jurassic films.
That is insanely big.
What would happen if these two entities met? So,
Is that
if you
Jurassic Park
didn't
3
know,
Spino?
the sailbacked sovereign
Looks
of the
like it.
Sahara, Spinosaurus aegypticus has been a mainstay of the franchise since the 90s. Seen in obscure toys and video games from the Lost World era, and then stomped
This is a
into
funny
the
looking
big screen in
Spino.
Jurassic Park 3, inflicting
There's the
irreversible trauma
one.
to a whole generation
Jurassic
of
Park 3
T-Rex
Spino is a
fanboys.
monster. It's
Spared
so
from a cut
cool.
sequence involving a huge pack of raptors bringing the Spino down, suggesting we would witness the sailback once again in the future, and then never seen again after more than 15 years. Enter Jurassic World in 2015, and the most we got was a shattered skeleton. Some would say a failed attempt
That is
at bowling
true.
old wounds, but
They didn't
any
even
hope
bother
of
to bring
T-Rex
the-
retribution was left.
The thing is, in Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World, did the Indominus Rex even have any Spinosaurus in it, like a DNA? Because they didn't. They just completely left the Spinosaurus out of the movie. That didn't even click in my head. Is it in any of the Jurassic World movies? Actually, I don't think so. Shit.
With a sour taste when it was finally
It's crazy.
reintroduced in
The biggest
Camp
nemesis of the
Cretaceous.
T-Rex, and they
Once
just
again
left
exhibiting
it.
How much of an apt combatant
It got
still
one
was,
W and like, nope,
or
that's
could
enough.
have been had it not been mind controlled. So it was a great surprise.
Why do they always have to
Or
remind
could
us of
have
Jurassic
been
Park
had
3
it
where
not
the
been mind controlled.
Spino just one
So it
tap
was a
the
great
T-Rex?
surprise
Come
when
on.
Godzilla 2014's Gareth Edwards and David Kapp,
Huh.
writer for the first two Jurassic Park films, and unlucky snack for the buck, gave us more Spinosaurus than we ever thought we could get before. Almost as if all that
It's making up
Spino
all
we
the
should have
movies.
gotten in 20 years was crammed
Yeah.
into one movie. And with a new
Yes,
reveal
sir.
at the CCXP show to some
It's been like
friends
4 or
down
5
south,
movies without
we
them. Now we've
more
got 4 or
surprising
5
news that there will be
Spinos.
at least 4 Spinosaurus giving their best effort to murder
Yeah.
the cast in the latest outing. This new revelation, behind-the-scenes info about the plot and movie, and some rather interesting
guy, how is he holding on?
revelation, behind-the-scenes info
This
about
guy's
the
body
plot
should have been
and
ripped in
movie,
half
and
already,
some
unless the
rather
Spino's not even
interesting
using any
figure
strength.
advertisements have gotten us eagerly speculating about the role these sailbacks will play in this movie. We've
How do they
seen
size up
social
them?
habits between the Tyrannosaurus and the franchise before, but the individual anomaly that was the angry Spino we saw in JP3 and Camp Cretaceous meant we never got to see this aspect before. In fact, given how territorial and aggro the last individual was, it might well have been the last super predator we would expect to be chummy with just about anyone. Some of the differences between the original specimen and this new quartet might even explain some of this. The Spinosaurus that debuted in Jurassic
Park
Park
3,
3,
yeah.
canonically created sometime in the late 1990s, according to the viral marketing information, was made to be accurate to the understanding
Man,
of
I
the
wish
animal
Spinos looked like
at
that in
the
real life.
time.
It's so
Essentially
cool.
a Suchomimus
Badass.
on steroids with a round sail and tall frame.
no way a
However,
flashlight just stopped
Spinosaurus
that
was
thing from
still
charging,
a very
bro.
poorly understood animal in
What?
the 1990s. And in universe, it might have been that Dr. Wu didn't have the best samples
What
to
game
work
is this?
with. Attempts at patching up the genome and
Looks sick.
experimenting in the amalgam testing that seemed to create this creature might have altered the end result. Some marketing material described this as an accident.
No, from Henry Wu. Of course, 2003, damn. Ruffled feathers. Accident, we left. They called the Spino an accident, bro. That's amazing. Ooh, yeah. You were actively manipulating and mutating the animal's genes, adding frog, bird, and reptile DNA. Ooh. We create that it no. What? We create that is known. What? Oh, what is known as null allow. Null allow. Doesn't you know? Have something added to their code.
The Scorpius Rex was the first
Interesting.
intentionally created hybrid dinosaur.
I wonder when it was released. I want to say 2003, but I don't know when it actually.
To finish out the genome and doing
There's Henry Wu.
Had
There's Henry Wu right there. The boss that he's in every single movie. Always the bad guy.
He created in the past. He just wasn't intentionally making them different at the time. Whatever happened in the 90s might have resulted in the Spinosaurus expressing traits more like typical theropods, whether that was from modified genes or patches to the DNA to fix up anything that caused
like what's the frog doing here? Where do you see the frog?
Having an incomplete understanding of the creature at the time.
Damn.
Nobody noticed
Suchomimus is that much bigger than the Spino in this game.
With it being created alone and
Suchomimus gave some crocodile.
Might have resulted in the super predator we saw in 2001 being as aggressive as it was even before the Kirby's accidentally broke into its house and hit it with an airplane. By contrast, these new Spinosaurus
such a dick move,
haunting the
hitting
island
with the
of
airplane.
Isle St. Hubert may have had some bugs worked out in their mind as much as they did their body. When exactly these Spinosaurus came about is still unknown. If this installation was used,
yeah, they could have been there on the island from the beginning as the first like experimentation or the first try, or they could have moved there because they are aquatic as well, so they could have just swam there from Sorna or Nublar or wherever else they could have been experimenting. Who knows at this point? It could have been another island.
They may have been engineered sometime in the late 2000s to 2010s. We believe this is the case, and that this pack might be a more refined second attempt closer to the real thing.
Yeah.
Spinosaurus's real-life social habits are still mysterious, but predators that hunt in the water like them, such as crocodiles and herons, tend to be surprisingly chummy with each other.
Heron? What did I just kill? Was it a mole?
More true-to-life body might have wound up with a more
oh, they're forcing the long neck into the water, the brachy.
Spinosaurus belongs to does have
now that's a swordfish.
At least some species, like Mapusaurus, were actually pretty social. Adding to this, the four we see do resemble each other close enough that it's possible this pack is a group of siblings.
Oh yeah, it's just the pattern that's so different.
Siblings that paired off as mates. As long as they grow up in the right environment, even solitary predators that are intelligent.
I don't want to learn about Spino incest. They're supposed to be cool.
Tigers and bears.
Now we just know they're from Alabama.
After years living alone, survival in the wild is a matter of your bloodline making it to the next generation.
I love tigers. Tigers are my favorite. I love white tigers especially. They're so majestic and beautiful looking.
Also does make sense when we put the four individuals side by side and look at their sails. Two have horizontal stripes and can be distinguished by one having a nick in the sail and the other two have vertical stripes.
Oh, I see. There is a slight difference in shape. All of these are round, but this one maybe it's from an injury or bumping it. I don't know.
The exact names and relations between the pack members we just don't know yet, but we would expect Universal wouldn't slip on the opportunity to market the four individually like they did the Raptor Squad.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
This is also a reason why we were skeptical of early rumors that the classic
True, instead of getting the four Raptors, Blue, Echo, Delta, and Charlie, we're gonna get the four Spinos. That's gonna be crazy.
Of the pack. Had the original Spinosaurus met this new quartet, we doubt they'd rise to the top or have the friendliest reaction to each other. Given the original InGen Spino had been
a lot
through
smaller,
as much as it did
but
to make
numbers do always have an advantage.
Series, and having to rough it alone on one of the most dangerous locations in the franchise for years, it might not exactly be the most sociable beast. That is because social predators with close-knit groups can be hostile to outsiders, and Sorna's apex predator would be an uncanny-looking stranger to the pack. Remember,
also massive.
In nature, those who lead groups rarely got there by beating down all the others. Had the JP3 Spino reacted to this new pack with the aggression it treated other predators and tried to forcefully take over,
it's gonna rip off its leg.
Would quickly find himself outnumbered by the retaliating pack.
It probably would be able to take out 2 or 3, at least one, without taking any damage. And then it's gonna be a brawl. That would be so sick to see. I hope GojiCenter covers that. That would be a cool fight. Battle analysis.
Showcasing some of the boat scene also shows off this whole area
that's cool.
to be full of sea mines. If this is true, we might end up leaving the movie with fewer sailbacks
This
than
guy's
we
got some
started.
stormtrooper ass aim. Look at this guy.
End up leaving the movie with fewer sailbacks
This is
than
a
we
stormtrooper.
started.
He must have been in one of the Star Wars
Spinosaurus
movies.
might even be aware of this danger and were intentionally driving the boat towards it.
Oh.
But this may not be the only action scene we see the sailbacks in for the next movie.
I hope not.
In a movie that apparently has very familiar-looking quilled raptors, abandoned laboratories, stranded families, hostile pterosaurs, and Spino-inflicted violence towards boats, it seems like Jurassic Park 3 nostalgia is in. And while the new crop of sailbacks might not be pitted against the new Tyrannosaurus, water-loving as it
Spino
is,
looks so...
the classic
T-Rex
showdown
looks
from
dope.
almost a quarter of a century ago might be revived in a new form. A recent
Huh.
toy commercial for the Colossal Clash figures prominently showed off one member of the Spinosaurus pack pitted against the new Tower of Terror in this latest outing, the Distortus Rex.
What have I been waiting
as
for?
Educated by grown men slamming toys together like we did in our younger days, just one Spinosaurus might not cut it against a
Grown
Goliath
men
bruiser
slamming
like
toys
this.
together. The size
Seems
of
to
it is
spoil the
crazy,
outcome
the
pretty
bulk.
obviously, with the Abomination winning in the commercial. Note, however, that the commercial makes a point to bring up how intelligent the Spinosaurus is. More genius than Bruiser. Definitely something
This has to
that
be some
doesn't
sort of
sound much like its
spoiler
counterpart
or-
back on Sorna, especially if the
What
Distortus
might happen in the
itself
movie,
might
that'd be
pretty
so
sharp
cool.
with how it curiously plays with its latest victim in the trailer. But if the point was to be brains versus brawn, why fight solo? Notice how in the trailers the Distortus seems to catch up to the cast at a dock, and Mahershala Ali's character Duncan seems to be heroically trying to draw it away into following him. And where is
could
it
be
following him?
could be-
The water.
the
And he lures it
water.
into
Yes.
increasingly deep water. As silly as the toy commercial is,
that makes
it
sense.
might have a point.
Trying to lead
One
into
mighty
the-
predator might not be enough to stand
I
up.
mean, that only makes sense leading it toward the Spino pack if they've encountered the Spino before this, which would make sense because the D-Rex, I assume, will be caught in that cage, will stay there for, I'd say, before they even get to the island. So they probably encountered the Spino pack before they even get to see this guy. Which obviously, plot and whatever, but
to
makes
this
sense.
gargantuan abomination. But
Get
in
into
an
a fight so
almost
they
perfect
can have
reversal
it
of that
distract and run
sequence with
away.
a pack of raptors jumping the Spino to
genius.
bring it down. Now we might have a pack of Spinos to even the odds. The Distortus is a massive monster and might prove to be one of the most powerful in the franchise. Too much for one rival predator to safely bring it down.
Yeah, one Spino
The
won't be
addition of
enough.
the fourth Spino, and
But
now
all four of
seeing that
them
this
would be
is
a bit much.
considerably large pack
If the Mosa's
makes us
there,
think
oh
that
my word,
these
the
are turning out to
D-Rex
be
is going away.
expendable. At the end of the film, if we do indeed get a Spino versus Distortus showdown, having a 4v1 melee is a bit of an uneven fight.
Yeah, that
Unless, of
is
course, the
crazy.
Distortus pulls off a genius maneuver. Unlikely, given that Colossal Clash hinted at the Spinos being smart as well. We might end up seeing something like a 3 versus 1 or even a 2v1.
Yeah,
Meaning
I
that
think it's
somewhere
very
along the film,
unlikely
we
that it would
should
be a
not
1v1.
surprised if the Spino count starts diminishing, either by human-made weapons, perhaps another dinosaur, or perhaps even
Yeah.
witnessing a D-Rex
Oh, that T-Rex
going
looks sick.
berserk and taking
Looks
out a good number
massive.
of these all by itself. The finale to the next movie might yet involve the biggest theropod melee we have ever seen, possibly showcasing the deadliest pack in the franchise against the largest monstrous
Bro,
force
this in the movie
yet.
was so sick. Oh. Wouldn't that just be so cool to see a full-out battle? Wouldn't it be cool to see the D-Rex and the T-Rex team up against the pack? That would be cool, wouldn't it? D-Rex, T-Rex, and then they'll be against the 4 Spinos. Oh, just thinking of it's getting me super excited. The marketing they could do with that would be dope. The figurines will be sick. Damn, they're gonna be selling like crazy. But anyways, yeah, just let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think? Will they really do a full-out battle between the D-Rex and the Spinos? I really do hope so. That would be so sick. But anyways, go check out GojiCenter. Give them some some support. Oh my word, I suck at English. Anyways, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. Check you guys in the next one. Peace out.